bonus round. Bonus round.
Yeah.
Yo.
We don't need Guillermo because he's on a plane. If he was smart, he would have took a train.
That's insane.
All right.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the bonus round.
Where we drop hot beats.
Yeah, DJ CUTMAN, step it up, dog.
You got nothing on.
Yeah, can't beat this. But anyways, welcome, everybody. If you're watching this on Patreon, thank you so much.
We love you.
We love you so much. If you're watching this on YouTube, we love you a little less,
I
but we love
less.
you. We still love you.
You're like my stepchild.
Just I love you, but just not as much as my real children.
That's all.
But yeah, so if you're watching this on Patreon, thank you. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching it a week later. If you want to catch it at the right time, check us out on the Patreon page, patreon.com/multiplayer. Throw us a buck or two.
Yeah.
Hey.
And if you're just watching, thank you anyway. Just thank you.
Just thank you. Anyways, getting into it. So,
Yeah.
On the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, we started to get into a discussion about kind of the PS5, whatever Microsoft's going to do next, as well as like what companies are thinking about the Switch.
Yeah.
You know, kind of the next gen of consoles.
Yep.
And so I figured we could talk about that a little bit here on this bonus round and kind of discuss like some thoughts, some ideas, some guesses.
Yeah. I think it's
all that kind of.
I think it's
stuff.
definitely interesting to think about because we're into the current gen. We're into like 5 years now.
Yeah.
That's been the release of the PS4, Xbox One.
Switch was a year ago.
Well, Nintendo's always just different.
Yeah, they're just kind of going by the beat of their own drum.
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
like mid console cycle released a console.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty much. But in terms of like Sony and Microsoft, we started talking about like, could they create a Switch competitor? Did the Switch change the game so much where Sony and Microsoft are like, all right, we need to kind of think about our structure and if we need to do something for mobile dedicated devices. And Sony already has that, PS Vita, but I don't know if they're going to do it again just because of weak sales outside of Japan and Asia.
Yeah.
Like I'm assuming, they obviously look at this from a global perspective.
Yep.
And there's a huge market in the States, so who knows if they'll continue doing that. But I think what's interesting to think about is, and I brought this up again when we talked about Smash, I brought this up. Like, what is going to constitute a new console? Because it seems like, with the PS3 and PS2, like, there was a jump in graphics.
Yeah,
there's a big jump in graphics. PS3 and PS4.
Also, like, online infrastructure changed a lot during that. Like, especially, like, the 360, they were just, like, crushing online infrastructure.
Right. And now we've reached the point where Sony and Microsoft both have very good online. I mean, Nintendo still needs to learn how to do it. Hopefully they do.
Nintendo's living in the year like 1998 still.
They're in the 90s, and I appreciate that. But they've online co-op and competitive gaming is at an all-time high in terms of Sony and Microsoft. And graphically, they're the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. They're amazing. They look beautiful.
Dude, you look at like God of War on like PS4 Pro on like a 4K TV.
It's gorgeous.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and like the Microsoft with the Forza games, that looks like a real car. Like I could just walk in there in that game and I'll be like, this is real life.
Yeah, I keep seeing you walk in the televisions thinking you could get in a car.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But we've reached, like, I don't want to say we've reached like the tip of the iceberg because I think there's still so much more that technology can advance.
Yeah.
But like, I want to ask, like, what's going to constitute a new console? Because from what I always thought, like growing up in the early 90s and growing up in 2000s, the next console was stronger engine, processing power, and a jump in graphics. Like a big jump in graphics.
I think it's kind of that way outside of like what Nintendo's doing. They're kind of going to the beat of their own drum.
Yeah.
But I got some ideas. I got some thoughts. So, but we're definitely like we're past that point now where it's like we're never gonna get like the Super Nintendo to N64 kind of jump.
Yeah.
Anyway, like it's just I think we're just kind of past that now.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that like everything from here on out, we're gonna see like a lot more minor things. It's stuff like kind of under the hood, under the engine that's gonna change, and it's gonna help on the developer side a lot. And I'm not sure how much of that's gonna spill over into what we're gonna see on our end. It's one of those things where it's like, PS5, Xbox 180 or whatever it's gonna be.
The Xbox 2.
It's just one of those things that's it's like it's gonna have a better graphics card, it's gonna have better processor.
Right.
It's like all those things under the hood. That's just gonna make it easier for and better tool sets as well. It's like even Nintendo they just created some better tools for like people to develop on their platform. So it's like
right.
you're always gonna see this like bump up in tool sets for people.
Yeah. I guess like a better OS as well, like just in general, like better layouts, better.
Yeah, just things that's like it's easy to bring a game over to your console.
Yeah.
It's like things like the PS3 infrastructure was really hard to work off of. I believe like the Wii U's was, but it's like these newer consoles, it's way easier to develop a game for or like port a game over to it. So it's like I think we're gonna see a lot more, on that side of things, like tool sets for developers just getting better and better. You're gonna see like better graphics cards, better processors, just things that make it so like every game could run at like 60 frames, 4K. Like
now with Xbox One X, a huge thing right now is backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
With the PS5, whenever that comes out, and there are rumors for 2020, definitely not 18 or 19, if that system is not backwards compatible with PS4, is that like a deal breaker? Would you think like, come on, man, like how is it not?
Yeah, I think
I can't imagine how it's not.
Yeah,
I can't.
I feel like the PS5, and I'm sure whatever the new Xbox is,
right.
I think they'll probably run off the same infrastructure as their console before it. So I think it'll be something where they could easily bring games over to the PS5. I don't think it'll be something that you could just pop your disc in and play it. Maybe, but it's just one of those things that's, they're a business and they want to make money, and it's just
right.
Like,
I get
might
that.
as well resell the same game again.
Yeah, I get that, but it's like and that's why I asked like what's going to be the biggest difference, because I understand like stronger processing power, better graphics card, but it just seems like we've reached a point in graphics where it's just like I don't understand. I couldn't tell you the difference if I looked at like if you gave me two really great monitors and you had 4K and 1080p, and you showed me the same shot, I probably couldn't tell the difference. I'm just being honest.
The big one is like HDR. It's
you're
adding a lot
textures
more
and stuff,
but it's just like the high dynamic range in lighting and exposure, stuff like that. It's like you look at a sunset or something in a game like Horizon, and it looks vastly different between like HDR and like a HDR TV and a non-HDR TV. It's just like you have a much wider range of like colors and exposures and stuff like that you don't get. So that's like, but once again, it's like it's just that technical side of things.
Yeah, so. Like to me, that's so like it's important, but that's so like minor compared to like for personally. Like I find like
gameplay is
gameplay is the most important factor. Like a game like Breath of the Wild doesn't have any of that. Yeah. But it still plays beautifully, and it's still a beautiful game. Like it's it's a gorgeous game, but it's that art style.
That gameplay.
Well, yeah, and that gameplay is just smooth as butter, dog. But yeah, so like, and also going off Nintendo, what else I wanted to talk about was like competitors for the Switch, because like we know that the Vita was made, but Microsoft's never, Xbox never done anything like that. But Microsoft does have tablets. They know the tablet world, because I mean it's Microsoft. They're a tech company first.
Yeah.
So could you imagine them doing something with one of their tablets?
That's the thing. I feel like if anybody was going to do it, I think it would be Microsoft.
I think they could do it really well.
They've talked about, and I think in-house have like developed handheld consoles in the past, but have never actually released anything, obviously. But I think this is something where, the connection between like the Xbox One and Microsoft Windows operating system is like pretty damn good. Like they they talk to each other well. You can obviously you can play games between them, so it's like it's one of those things. I think they could and there was things like a Windows like second screen, stuff like that you can do things with with the Xbox One. So I think we might see something where it's just like, hey, you can you could take your Microsoft tablet, this like super power. I mean, those are super crazy.
Yeah, they're strong
tablet. Like I can't even remember what they're called. Like the Windows.
The Surface tablets.
Yeah.
The Surface Pro.
Surface Pro. That's what I was thinking of. Like you take something like that's like super powerful and can run all these applications, and then you have like your Xbox app, and you can log into your Xbox Live account, and they can basically create these controllers that just snap right on the side. And,
I mean, honestly, just taking the Switch model and just putting an Xbox logo on it.
Or it's like those things lay out on a table really well, so it's like you can Bluetooth like an Xbox controller to it. But you could literally like they could set it up the same way where it's just like you could slide these things on the side. Here's your like split Xbox controller, or you could play with an Xbox controller, and you can either like second screen your Xbox, or here's like whatever games you buy on your Xbox, you can play on your tablet as well through the Xbox Live app. And here's all your games in the cloud, and you can download them and play like you think about Fortnite and how that scaled down to mobile. Not that it's a graphically intense game, but I think we could see something like that in the future.
But like if they did this, if Microsoft made this tablet Switch competitor, would that mean that their One X is their main home console for now, and like that by itself would be their next big announcement? I can't imagine they would do that plus another next-gen console.
I think they could, because you got to think about it this way, where it's like
it's pricey though.
It is, but it's also the same. Like you think about the PS4 and the PSVR, where it's just like, here's your main console,
and
here's a second fun thing, and it's something where it's just like. I don't think they would come out at the same time. I think it's something where they would announce the Xbox 180 or whatever. I'm just using that term. Who the heck knows?
It sounds cool.
Their naming is just atrocious. But they I can see them announcing the new console and be like, and you're also like a year down the line, you're going to be able to connect it to the Xbox app. The Xbox Live app, and through the cloud you can download any games that you have downloaded on your Xbox and play them on your tablet. And then like a year later we're going to see that Surface Pro Plus or Surface Pro X,
So here's my thing. And this is why I said it's pricey. I just Googled Surface Pro real quick. I'm going to look up
they're
shopping.
Expensive. They're like $1,000 bucks.
These are like average $1,000 devices, and this one says $700 for a machine that it's only got 4 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
Again, that's why I'm saying if you made this device, like I can't imagine they would have to sell like cheapest like $500. But between that and the One X, that's $1,000. Like just.
But like
without taxes.
But it's everything adds up when it comes to like you think about your like if you bought a PlayStation 4 Pro and a PlayStation VR, you're almost in $1,000.
I get that, but the thing is, the difference between the PSVR and the PS4 is that the VR isn't a separate like console machine that you can like play like every game on.
Yeah.
Like that's a dedicated thing for one thing. But the Surface Pro would be a machine where, theoretically, you can play all your games on it, on the go. So it's like, why would you create this super powerful Surface Pro tablet that can run all your, the Windows operating system with all those games but then have to worry about the Xbox. Like, to me, that just doesn't make sense.
Well, it's just one of those things. They're going to build that Surface Pro anyways. This is just an additional thing. It's just one of those things. It's like, you know, you're an Xbox guy, you're a Microsoft guy. So it's like you already have a Surface Pro.
So would they take this Surface Pro and make like a gaming version of it where it's like dumbed down for it's just the games?
I don't think so. I think it's just one of those things that it can also do this. So it's like they're not.
That's to me that means it's going to cost even more. Like that because then
but you're already like you got to buy a tablet for work anyways or whatever the case is. So it's like you might as well. It's like, oh sweet, so now I just have the Xbox Live app that I can just download for free,
right? And
then all my games are there, and I can just play with an Xbox controller. Awesome.
I guess it's just, to me, that's a perfect world where it's like $500. I don't think to me that there's no way in hell that can be a $500 machine. Like I just. In today's world, like just looking at that right now, like that's a cheap one in terms of specs. Yeah. And it's still $700.
No, I think it'll cost you $1,000 for like the Surface Pro.
Yeah.
And
that's insane.
It's just a prediction because it's just one of those things. Like I said, I don't think they'd be relying on the Xbox side to sell these tablets. It's just they're going to be selling these tablets anyways, and you just happen to be able to do this thing as well. It's just like. It's just one extra thing to help them sell a tablet.
Right.
It's like, oh, so I can get this for work and use Microsoft Word. I can get online, and I can also play, you know, Halo or whatever.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's why I'm saying that by itself would be like, I don't know. We're getting to a point in the world where like we're blending so many things with our consoles where. Your entertainment center, your entertainment hub, like they're just becoming your computers at this point, where you can run business applications. So
but I can do like just on my iPhone right here, I can literally log into my PS4 and play Overwatch on my phone.
What? You can play? No, you can't.
Can.
You can play Overwatch on your phone? Mm-hmm. What?
Second screen, dog.
Oh, the second screen. Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, technically yes, you're right. But I mean,
I'm right.
No, I know, but it's hard to imagine. E3 2020, Phil is going on stage with the Surface Pro and be like, this is our next console.
No, I don't think they're doing that at all. But I think it's just, they have their next console, and then it's just like...
But like, why would you do both?
As a competitor for the Switch.
I guess.
It seems like something that Sony's not doing. No,
that's true. It just seems like a massive undertaking. Like a big investment of like... All right, because I'm imagining at an investors meeting, be like, all right, Phil, lay it on me. What's up? And he's like, all right, here's the plan. We've got the Xbox 2. It's going to be all this. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. We also have the Surface Pro, which we're going to make into the gaming. It's going to have all the gaming applications that you can get on the Xbox One or the Xbox 2, and it's going to be dope. It's going to be super cool. But then they're just like, well, wait. How expensive is it going to be to make the Xbox 2? Because the Xbox One X is a $500 machine.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the 2...
That is selling really well.
Yeah. So I can only imagine what the 2 would be. Like, if it's going to stay at the $500 price point.
Yeah.
If it's going to be stronger.
It'll probably be $400. That'd be my
400?
guess. I think so.
Really? You think it's going to be dropped down to 400?
Because whatever Sony's going to come out with is 400. And if they're coming out around the same time, like Microsoft cannot... And the Xbox team, they cannot have a system that's $100 more than the PS4 or the PS5.
I agree with that.
If they're like, you know, both come out around the same time, and it's like, all right, well, I can get the PS4 or the Xbox. Oh, that one's $100 more. I'm gonna get the PlayStation 5.
I agree.
It already happened.
And I know, but that's the thing. That's why I don't see how these machines can be made for cheaper, because they're stronger and faster. And
yeah, but like computer parts get cheaper year over year.
No,
like,
I know. But in terms of like that Surface Pro thing, because it all comes back to that for me. Like,
I think you're focusing too much on it.
But that's the Switch competitor. That's why I brought it up. Because you know, in terms of Switch competitor, why would you create an $800 device?
I don't think you're creating it. That's the it's already being created. All you're developing is the Xbox Live app.
So I guess it goes more into like marketing. Like, hey guys, we can, you know, your Surface Pro tablets now you can run.
Exactly.
I guess
because it's just one of those things. It's like if you already have the Surface Pro, and then there's just this free app on the App Store that you're like, oh, I can download.
But the thing is, the problem with that these things are basically computers,
Yeah.
right? So can't you run Steam on it? So
Great question.
So isn't that...
Hey, can you run Steam on that?
Fact check me on that, Nathan. Because like that's the thing for me. Because it's like that's the world of Microsoft and PC. They're just blending together. Where it's like, why is Xbox still doing things when PC is like you can just do everything on Steam?
Because it's convenient.
But like,
Convenience.
but you can run a Steam app, the Steam application right there, and you just...
Yeah, I would assume you can because it's just a computer.
Yeah, so it's like, why not? Like, why would they do this whole Xbox thing if Steam can just run on it? But like,
because you've already bought your games on Xbox Live.
So, but I don't know, man. It just seems like too much of a hassle. Like, and this is not. I'm not trying to like be devil's advocate. I'm just trying to like.
Oh no.
Why?
No.
Like, how can? Because honestly, I do think the Switch is so huge that Sony and Microsoft, I think they're clearly looking at it like this.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah,
You know?
like this is going to be an issue in like 2 or 3 years because the Switch is only going to get better. I'm assuming.
There'll
with
be
like
a Switch
2.0. Yeah, I agree.
New Switch is what the... God, I hate that stupid
Switcheroo.
Ooh.
You like that? The Switcheroo?
I do like the Switcheroo.
Nathan
And then
likes
we'll
it.
get the Switcheroo 2.
Yeah, Switcheroo didgeridoo.
And then we'll get the Switcheroo 2U.
Oh, I like that one. The Switcheroo to you. But yeah, just like because can it do it, Nathan?
Yes.
Yes.
Depends on how demanding the game is.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I like if
We can run Shovel Knight on Steam. Yeah.
But so I guess that's a whole nother thing to dive into.
But that's the thing; it can already do it. So it's like all you need is an Xbox Live app.
I guess it's just
it's just a cloud-based service.
Yeah, I guess
they've been good with.
I guess it's just the luxury of riches at that point. Because you're just like, here's my Surface Pro. I could run Steam, or I could run Xbox. But it's like, well, why would you? Why? Like
Because you already
have the Xbox.
Yeah, it's like,
I guess.
And you would get like your Xbox achievements, all that kind of stuff. You know?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
It would all go back into like that Xbox universe.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, this slowly became just talking about Microsoft's plans.
But I think Sony's going to focus, just kind of shorten things up here because we're running out of time already. Jesus.
Yeah.
I think that Sony, I think they're just gonna make a nice, powerful console. They're gonna kind of double down on VR. It's not gonna be they're not gonna come out like here's the PS5 and the VR. Here's the bundle. It's like, no. I think here's PS5. Here's our message. And then the next year, it's going to be like, here's VR, PSVR version 3. Here's the message. And it's like, because I think they want to keep going down that hole of like, PlayStation and PlayStation VR, and that's kind of their world.
Yeah, and I honestly don't think they worry too. I mean, obviously, I think they look at what the Switch does and like what Microsoft is planning, but I honestly think like they're not too worried just because of their exclusives are the best. And they're like, yeah, it's just like, we're gonna focus on our dope story-driven campaigns, and you're gonna love it every single one because everything Naughty Dog creates is gold.
Yeah.
Like Santa Monica Studios is just gonna keep making gold. Like it's Guerrilla Games somehow created gold. Like they've got these developers that are just like, we got this. We'll be fine. We'll produce just great content. And it just makes me think of games like Ghost of Tsushima, if that's going to be a next-gen game or not.
I think so.
Yeah?
I think that's going to be like a release title.
PS5?
PS5. That's my theory.
I would imagine so, just because I would think we're coming close to the end of the PS4's life cycle.
Yeah.
But again, it comes back to like, well, what constitutes a new console? Because I can't imagine PS5 not being able to run PS4 games on it.
Yeah.
It just does, to me, it doesn't make sense.
But I think winter 2020, that's when we're going to see all the new consoles.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's a big year to look to.
Yeah, I think it's really like, and I think they're going to shorten up like the announce window too. Where it's just like, maybe it gets announced E3 2019 and it comes out like basically a little more than a year later. Sounds about right.
It'd be interesting.
And then we got, it's going to come out with like the Ghost of Sushi and
Ghost of Sushi.
and then, probably
Red Dead 3.
Oh,
we'll
we'll see that in 20 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking for Sony. I think Microsoft, they, I think they're just going to keep, chugging along with getting exclusives ready for whatever.
I was going to say, I would
console
imagine priority number one for them is, like, if we were to make a priority list, actually a good question to end it on, a priority list for each, like, major company.
Yeah.
Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. Priority. What do you think is their number one priority?
I think all
for each
three
one?
of them right now, games.
Well,
I think, no, it's because we saw this with like the 360 and falling into the beginning of the Xbox One, where they were like, this is an everything console. This is like an entertainment console, where it's like, here's your Kinect, here's your cable.
Your streaming apps.
Yeah,
all
it's
that.
like, here's all this, and here's a couple games. And everybody's like, no, we want games. And then PS4 is like, games.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what won. And then it's like, you think about the Switch. The Switch is a cool system, but what sold that system is things like Breath of the Wild. It's like they were like, yo, here's the Switch, but here's games. And that's what's...
See, I was gonna think priority for Nintendo was reversed. I think they've got the games. I think they need to add more to the Switch. I think the Switch is very bare bones right now.
Yeah,
where I think the limits for the Switch, it's not endless, but there's a lot of stuff that would be cool that you could add to the Switch. Like, they got the Hulu app now, which is nice, but like, give me a browser, give me the YouTube app, give me a Netflix app, give me everything that I want to have on my normal system, because, entertainment center
all
kind of
that's
thing.
coming, but I don't think that's a priority for them. And there's even been...
But when's it coming, though? I guess with the new online...
Yeah.
Well, but still, like, when?
Yeah, I think they're focusing pretty hard on getting the online correct, but also they're just going to keep pumping out good games. I think that's just really where...
I mean...
They just need to just keep knocking that out of the park, because the more they can sell, the more third parties will look at them and then put their stuff on.
Well, they already started to.
Yeah. And I think, 2020, we'll probably see like a Switch...
The switcheroo?
2.0, the switcheroo 2U.
Yeah.
Not that it's a new system, but just like...
Right,
it's like
the PS4 Pro, the Xbox One X version of it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Nathan. I know.
Yeah. So that's our show. So there's some predictions and some fun chats.
It was fun.
Mostly about Microsoft.
Yeah. Oh, that's because, it just shows you how much that we're concerned.
We'll see. Like the next couple of years would be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I'm curious to see where things go.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
But stay tuned. In 2 years, we'll let you know.
Yeah, really.
Well, cool. Thanks for sticking around, listening, having fun with us. If you have any of your own predictions, feel free to hit us up. Chat with us. Twitter. I'm at Zach Matskanis, ZACKMATZGANIS.
Yeah, you can reach me on Twitter, MultiplayerHav. Or you could DM me on Instagram. I don't care. Jumpman_Ortiz.
Cool. And yeah, if, like I said, if you're a Patreon patron, there you go.
A Patreon person? Patrons, as they're also called.
Thank you so much. We appreciate
I love
your dollars. And everybody else, thanks anyways. Thanks for sticking around, listening to us.
It's going to be fun.
And big shout out to DJ CUTMAN. Thank you. That sweet, sexy...
so sexy.
Chiptune music.
So sexy.
And we'll see you on the next bonus round in the next episode.
Maybe Guillermo will be here.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But keep on grinding. We'll see you at the respawn.
Love
Later.
You, baby.
We'd like to give a big old special thank you to Jaden Lawrence, Arturo Madeira, and Murcha Dan Kropataru. If you want to receive shoutouts like these awesome, beautiful people, be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/multiplayered. See you next time, players.